Yeah, I think the headlines have been scary. No one wants to see the U.S. in a conflict, but I think it's been spot on to note that markets have been taking this much better than expected.
If you're a Bitcoin holder right now, you need to watch this entire video, because over the next couple of minutes I'm going to show you exactly what the data is showing, where the smart money is investing, and why, despite absolutely everything, I still believe Bitcoin goes up from here.
I don't think anyone can say we're bottomed yet, but this is what looks like the makings of a bottom, right? That you get bad news and the markets are taking it in stride. And more importantly, I think we've had a position reset. And so on the other side of this, I think is going to be a lot of opportunity.
Tom Lee, one of the most respected names in traditional finance, and what he's doing right now with his own money speaks louder than any prediction. And he's not alone. Personally, I still believe the Clarity Act passes this year. When you look at what's been said at the very top, such as this clip from Donald Trump,
which is very important. In crypto, we want to be dominant. We want to be dominant in everything we do.
So we've got the most powerful person in the world talking about American dominance in crypto. That's probably something you should be talking about. So we've got Morgan Stanley going all in on Bitcoin and crypto at record levels. This is one of the biggest banks in the world. These aren't the normal consumers buying Bitcoin and panic selling on their phones. These are institutions making calculated long-term moves.
I think that Morgan Stanley, being the first big U.S. bank to take this step to file to launch its own ETFs, is a huge endorsement. So we've started to see this comeback of institutional cash just in the first few trading days of the year. Finally, the surge in spot Bitcoin ETFs, which were net outflows for the last few months of 2025. And what this really signals is that Morgan Stanley, for one, has been the most progressive.
If you have institutions buying for the long term because they believe it's going to $1 million, $2 million over the next 5 or 10 years, why, as the average broke, poor person in the world, would you be selling at $60,000, at $70,000, at $100,000? Most people think they're day traders, they're swing traders. They're not. They're idiots. They're degenerate gamblers acting 90% of the time on emotions. And I get it. If you're buying degenerate micro caps under 100 mil and they don't have a long term goal, sure. Maybe you should be panic selling when the market turns, because a lot of the time they will fall 80 or 90%. But Bitcoin is here to stay for the next 50 years, 100 years. It's not going anywhere. And when you have every institution in the world and every government in the world accumulating for the long term, wake up. Wake up. I can't stress this enough. You're probably watching this going, "Oh, he's just an idiot talking on camera." And maybe I am. Maybe I'm going insane, but having the opportunity to buy Bitcoin again under $70,000 is, to me, is incredible. I remember going through this back in 2016, 2017, and the price of Bitcoin was around $1,000. And I mean, I was telling everyone to buy, absolutely everyone, friends, family. No one wanted to. But do you know when they did? Do you know when they I had 100 texts and 100 emails saying, "Oh, shall I buy Bitcoin now?" When it was at $20,000 the following year. And a lot of the retail, the friends and family bought at Bitcoin at $15,000, $20,000, and suddenly I'm to blame because they never wanted it when it was cheap. You're in the cheap position right now. You have the opportunity to buy at $60,000, $70,000. Take advantage of it. Not financial advice. I always recommend you do your own research, but take advantage of the Bitcoin under $70,000. Maybe it does go to $60,000 again. Maybe it even goes to $50,000, $40,000. Who cares? I don't care. Just DCA. Just buy Bitcoin under $60,000. So anyway, moving on to the fear and greed index. I want to show you something that generally gave me more confidence this week. This is from Crypto Rover on X. He posted something quite important. He said, "Buying Bitcoin when the market is fearful works 100% of the time." So look where the fear and greed index is right now. We're at the same levels we saw at COVID. We're at the same levels we saw at the FTX crash. And both of those times, Bitcoin didn't just recover. it went to absolutely ripped new all-time highs. Then he posted this: Bitcoin just printed 5 straight bearish monthly closes in a row. The only other time that happened in Bitcoin's entire history was 2011 and 2018. So a lot of you guys wasn't around in 2011. I certainly wasn't. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here recording videos. I would be sat in the Caribbean somewhere. But I was around in 2018 when it printed 5 in a row, and it felt exactly the same as this. It felt awful. It felt like the market was over and we were collapsing forever. But both marked the bottom of the bear market. I'm not saying again it's the bottom of the bear market right now, because my own thesis, I believe we're probably going to be trending around this sort of range for the next few months before we start to climb higher. Now let's talk about where we might be heading in the short term, because not everyone believes we're going straight up from here. We've got Benjamin Cowen posting about the midterm years, and that pattern is really interesting. February sees a drop, then we have a rally going into March, then another drop in April. And honestly, I think Benjamin could be right with this, which is why I want to show you my own chart, because I think it tells us exactly what to look for. So you can see here, price was compressing inside a symmetrical triangle, and we've just broken out of it. My expectation was we rally up towards the bull market support band and close the CME gap. That's around the $84,000 level. Whether the true bottom was that low in February at $60,000, or whether we go there one more time after that, I believe that will be the true bottom. And again, I'm not calling $60,000 for the low. It's very possible that we do, for a short term amount of time, fall to $40,000-$50,000. Again, I believe it'll be during a capitulation event, probably news related, during April and May. But again, we don't know what the narrative is going to be right now, so there's no point trying to guess. So that's everything that I've got for you today. If this video gave you any sort of clarity, drop a comment below. Tell me if you're buying, selling, or waiting for a lower dip. As I mentioned in every single video, this isn't financial advice, and I always recommend you do your own research before making any investment. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you doing? Hit subscribe, because tomorrow I'm going to be dropping something on the Ethereum price action, and I believe it's going to catch a lot of people off guard. Stay patient, stay focused, and zoom out, and I'll see you tomorrow.